Now, let's hear it from the smart, sweet, successful, and stylish Sarah Litz.
This year in civic year, I learned that in order for success, you have to focus on the most important things first because there are scarce amounts. For example, in 2001, I received my food and housing units, and then I focused on getting my education units. But in 2000, I didn't focus on receiving education. But in year 2001, right as the education unit was powered, I went to Mason directly to receive the unit. It shocked me how competitive people were in receiving their units and obtaining their hidden agenda, and people were constantly fighting in order for their own success, and people were even offering to bring in outside money for their success in the game.
Ah, such wise words. Much thanks. Now let's hear Issy's incredible voice.
Well, thank you, Sydney. I learned the importance for clear communication. For example, in the year 2000, the government did not provide energy to departments which housed 6 people. Due to Mason not being at the spring event, it was hard for him to know and understand what was going on. If clear communication occurred, the government powered the apartments, 6 more people would have survived. In the experiment, it was frustrating the personal connections in the game. For example, I was good friends with Sarah and she owned the food, so I would have had a higher chance of getting the food, but people who weren't didn't, so I'm sure it was frustrating for them. But before I go, I have a question for you, Sid. What have you learned from these civic mirror years?
I've learned that it's important not to get distracted and to focus on your own hidden agenda. For example, in year 2000, about half of the class needed to have taxes for their hidden agenda, including myself. However, no one in the class spoke up for their hidden agenda and no taxes resulted. I also learned that making alliances is a key step to success. For example, Issy and I were the same hidden agendas and we teamed up to buy an apartment and were able to persuade the government for our advantage. Well, thank you everyone for your great thoughts.
Well, thank you,
Thank you.
Sid.
Thank you.
We'll see you all here next year.
Thank you.